What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games, we're going to be checking back in on Darkswitch. We played this about 6 months ago, and this morning in my inbox, the developers fired over a new build that gives us a look at Chapter 1 of the game, the previous demo being mostly the prologue. So I went ahead and I knocked out the entire prologue before this recording, and we are right on the cusp of Chapter 1. We will dive on into that, but if you've never seen Darkswitch before, Darkswitch is kind of a cool colony survival game that's got itself very heavily modeled after Frostpunk, except that it's much more sci-fi and fantasy based. So this is a game where you play as a tribe of elves that live around a giant tree, and there's fog that's slowly creeping across the landscape and converting everybody into bloodthirsty monsters, and you have to protect all of your different production buildings and all of your people by building different lights that burn off the fog. In the prologue, it was actually catastrophic. The tree fell, and at the beginning of Chapter 1, we are an expedition party that was sent there to see what happened and pick up the pieces. So join me. Today we're going to be playing for about 30 minutes or so. I think it's going to be a really good time. I'm pretty excited about this game. If after watching this you wanted to get this title for yourself, you can't yet. It's not out, but you can go play the old prologue. This build that I have right now, though, is only for like content creators and media, and I think you can only get it through their Discord. Like, you can ask in there, I suppose. But the link is down below in case you wanted to wishlist it. Then on top of that, you can find a bunch of other Nerd Castle links down there, just in case you wanted to give them the old saucy, spicy, sexy click. But let's dive on in and see if we can rebuild society atop a tree fortress. So here we are at the end of the world. That down there, that's the fog. You see all that crazy red stuff happening inside of it? That's because this fog is on devil time, bro. It is in straight demon mode right now, and it has consumed the world. We have arrived. This tree may look familiar from the last time I covered the game. That's because it's the same tree. The only difference is the civilization fell that was on the tree that we played around with in the prologue, and this is our expedition airship that came to check on the place and figure out exactly what went wrong. So here at the beginning of the game, we don't really have a whole lot going on for us right now. It's basically like a large collection of ruins that we need to try to rebuild so that we can start having another research facility atop the tree. And the first thing that it wants us to do is repair the council chamber. So let's go ahead and do that, and while the council chamber is actually being repaired, I will go through the UI and show you everything you need to know. So up at the top left-hand corner of the screen, we've got all of our various resources, everything from food to metal to wood. You name it, it is all up here, and it will all be required so that we can survive as the fog creeps closer and closer and closer. Up here in the top right-hand corner, we've got the fear meter. This is very similar to the hope meter inside of Frostpunk. If this gets too high, all kinds of bad things start happening. Society starts like imploding in on itself as everybody starts gnashing their teeth, tearing each other apart, and backstabbing one another. Down here in the bottom corner, you can see how many different workers of different social classes we have. In this game, every single worker is kind of like Anno. You've got normal workers, you've got artisans, and you've got warriors, and you've only got so many of them to be assigned to various tasks, and so you always want to keep a weather eye on that stuff to make sure that nobody's starving and everything's working out okay. Now, at the beginning of the game, the council building is going to be the central repository for everything that our culture does. Everything functions through here, and without one, we can't really get anything done. We also need to clear the debris as part of our first objective, so I'll go ahead and assign workers over here to clear all this debris out, maybe give us a little bit of resources to play around with, because at the moment, the de facto currency of this game is just wood, and we have none of it. So some of these old shanties, we're gonna have to knock them down. There's only gonna be like 45 wood, though, by the time we get done, which is not great. It looks like we can also tear this one down, so I'll go ahead and do that. And then inside of our airship, we actually have a special ability that will allow us to assign rangers, which are our warriors, to go out and explore these little blue points that are all over the map. But for right now, we can't really do that. It also wants me to build up a platform. We're going to be able to do that. This game has vertical building, and so we need to build platforms that are going to be a part of our tree over here, and that keeps them upraised, because not only does the fog get higher and higher and higher as you play through the game, it also gets stronger. You can see a meter on this left-hand side. That's the strength of the fog, and every single building has a certain amount of resistance to the fog, and the further you are below the strength of the fog with your resistance, the faster the building gets corrupted and taken over by mindless mindless flesh-eating monsters, which is no good. We don't want that to happen. Let's go ahead and set up a scout team as well. So there we go. It's going to cost us 5 rations and 5 warriors to make a scout team, but that's the only way that we can investigate these little blue points that are all over the map. And so we're going to have to do that because it's a part of our objectives over here. This is a story-based game. There's nothing procedural about it. You're actually playing through a campaign just like in Frostpunk. And so let's get to it. I'm going to send my scouts over here. It's going to take them how long? 56 minutes to get over there, so we'll speed up time real fast just to make that happen a little bit more quickly. They've torn down all the buildings, and 64 wood is all that we have to work with. If you zoom in down here, you will see the Rangers. They'll come over here and investigate this. Oh, they must have already done it. On the way, our Rangers came across survivors. The poor souls had been in the shroud for 2 weeks. It's no wonder they're all insane. Their incoherent babble is impossible to understand. The game does have a very nice art style. In fact, it has so much great art that I had to ask the developers if there was any AI in there, because like for a team to put out the amount of like environmental and also event art that this game has, it was mildly suspicious, but it came back with the all clear. I think I mentioned that the last time I played the game too, but the art style in this game, very, very crisp and very dark. This is definitely one of those games that's leaning in more of a grim, dark direction. My Archon, survivors, they talk about the horror that attacked. Nothing useful. After so many days in the fog, this is not surprising. Build housing for him. The captain won't tolerate madmen on board for safety reasons. Then, chambers of healing will also not hurt. I'm afraid these unfortunates won't be the last victims. Okay, so our new set of things that we need to get done here. Oh, they're exploring it right now. So that might have just been an event where we brought in a bunch of people. Unfortunately, that's going to tax our rations really hard. So we need to start setting up production. This right here is a mushroom gatherer. It can pick mushrooms off the side of the tree. They're not very nutritious, and they're not really good for you, and there's not very many of them. But if we plug them into a cookery, like right there, and we build it onto the side of the tree, we'll be able to turn it into rations, which are filling and are basically the main source of food inside of this game. The Rangers descend from the tree. The stench of smoke and rotting flesh hits them. Dozens of corpses lie scattered among the charred skeletons of buildings. A quick inspection reveals varied causes of death, most suffocated in the smoke, some burned alive and others fell to their deaths. Many bodies were partially eaten by wild animals. It is a horrific sight. Well, put it out of your mind. I found a page from the Ethnarch's diary in the town hall. It's badly burned, but it says, "They found out about the project. The fog has gone berserk, and more creatures are swarming in to start the installation to drive away." It looks like Tessen's handwriting, but he was clearly in a hurry when he wrote it. Reporting, Archon. There are bodies below. All the bones are broken as if the residents jumped from the platforms. I have a hypothesis as to what might have happened in Alarin, but to do this, I need to climb into the crown of the tree. My Archon, the workers first need to patch up the platform and restore the path to the crown for you. Carpenters need time, and you need rest after the flight. Okay, and that's going to be this part over here that we're able to repair, although I don't know exactly what it's going to cost me. And so I'd like to get basic buildings set up before we go too crazy with it. Inside this building, it looks like we have 29 workers of the lowest social class, so we'll just make it so that the cookhouse is working around the clock. That way we don't end up with food problems, because we definitely don't want to deal with that for right now. If you do have problems in your society, they'll be listed inside this little area with all the red moodles up here. So we've got mentally ill people, we've got hungry people, we've got homeless people, we've got a whole gaggle of problems. Society is not exactly thriving right now, and it's going to come down to us to fix it all. That right there are signs of life, okay? This over here is a fishing place. Didn't save them, but it might save us. Our people, our warriors, aren't going to be back for 18 minutes, so we'll let that cruise for just a second. They want me to build 3 houses, but without a source of wood, I feel like that's a really bad idea. So instead, I'm going to go and build a lumberjack's hut right here by these trees. That way we at least have a little trickle of wood coming in as time goes along, because we need this to be a renewable resource, and right now we're functioning with no reserves. We got nothing left right now, and so spending all of our wood on other buildings means that we're going to soft lock ourselves. So I'll build this real fast so that it's all nice and ready to go. It is indeed now ready to go, so let's assign our workers very rapidly. How many workers do I have left? 29 without jobs. All right, that works. We're going to have them work the day shift and the night shift. There's no penalty for that. It's when you make them work third shifts that they start getting angsty and irritated about it, because that means somebody has to work doubles, and that makes your fear go up. Was that a free building? I noticed we still have 45 wood. It might have been a free building. I don't know. We can't make the engineerium yet, but we also can't make the healing quarters. So we are just chock-a-block with things that we are incapable of actually accomplishing right now. I think the other thing that we'd like to have down here, this is going to seem kind of stupid right now while we're low on resources, but we need to build a warehouse down here too. A warehouse down here would be hugely helpful. Because these guys have to walk all the way back up the tree to drop their stuff off inside the repository up here. A warehouse doesn't really cost us anything, and it makes them much more efficient. You can see a meter right here on all these buildings that tell you how efficient it is. We're at 21% right now, so we need this to be quite a bit more efficient before this is all going to work out for us. We want to bring this number up about as high as we possibly can. And as you can see at night, the fog is going to slowly start creeping in, hopefully not making it to any of our buildings. If it does make it to our buildings, that's going to really suck for us. I am going to send the scouts out to go check on the fishing spot over here. Once you actually check these spots, it unlocks a grid of tiles that you can build on. And so every single time we do one of these blue missions, we are increasing our ability to deal with problems, basically, by building more facilities. The other thing we're going to need is a healing hut. I will probably put the healing hut right there on the side of the tree. That way, we can start assigning doctors to all these mentally ill people. That'll bring them back into our workforce, and over time, as we do various jobs, people are going to get injured, because just like in real life, the vast majority of the population are morons, and so they are constantly wounding themselves and generally just getting hurt in easily avoidable ways. We do have a building down here that we can scavenge, which is really nice. I'll probably wait till daytime to do it. That way people don't get sick out inside of the fog. But we do have that as an option for right now, which would be good. As soon as the hunters are back, we'll check that final exploration spot. We'll see what it can give to us, and then we'll kind of move on with our day. I don't see any more resources that we can get our hands on right now. I am feeling antsy with my greasy little fingers about getting more stuff. I don't like flying by the seat of my pants like this with very, very few resources, and so it makes me feel nervous. We do have the 55 that we need for a warehouse right now, so I'm going to get that constructed very quickly. It doesn't really matter where we plop it. I'll put it right there, and then it'll redraw all of the paths to help people get inside of these buildings, like all the little scaffolds and whatnot. But for now, this should raise the efficiency of this building up pretty aggressively if we take this warehouse and then we assign it specifically to the storage of wood. That should help out quite a bit, and you'll see this number boost up as time goes along, and that'll bump us up to 8 wood an hour, which doesn't sound like much, but considering there's 24 hours in a day, that's an extra 48 wood every single day, which is enough for an entire building that we otherwise wouldn't have had. This game is all about little efficiencies like that, making sure that you're getting every last drop of juice out of every fruit that you possibly can. This building is built, so we need to assign specialists to it. I will assign all of my specialists. We don't have enough for it to be manned around the clock, but we do have enough people where we should start healing and getting these numbers back into our workforce before it spirals out of control. That's a very real thing that can happen in this game, is that if you end up with too many people sick, there's multiple degrees of sickness, and they'll just keep getting sicker and sicker, and you can only heal like one level of sickness at a time, and so it can really spiral out of control. I highly recommend you pay attention to it. Let's go ahead and we'll repair the way up to the tree right there so that we can keep our objectives flowing, because every time we complete one of these, our hope meter, it actually gets rid of some fear, and so we'd like for that to happen. We also need to start building houses so that we have 70 people that are homeless right now, which is abysmal. That's a really poor showing for the civic authority. So I'll put a house in right there. We'll put a house in maybe like right here. And then I'm only going to do 3 houses for right now. That should be enough room for 24 people to live. There we go. And if you notice the little attachments, make sure that those are clear, because you get these things called annexes that you can build on buildings, and they allow you to get much more efficiency and better stuff out of your buildings. The Seed of the Sun, it exists and it's awakened. For 10 whole years, I chased legends. So at the top of this tree, the elves were working on a doomsday weapon that could kill the fog. It's basically a nuke made out of sunlight. They lit it off in the prologue, but it didn't work out how they thought it was going to work. And the Seed of the Sun is the engine that makes our sunlight nuke work. What a bright and scalding hot thing, brighter than the rays from the most powerful solar concentrators. Sorry. So much effort and so many victims, we have to believe that it was worth it. If the worst awaits us, only with the Seed of the Sun do we have a chance to survive. Messer, your orders? Security should be on duty here around the clock. Don't let anybody in. Okay, and when the 3 houses get done, we should be in much better shape here. We pulled in a lot of wood from our fishing hut over on this side, but we're just barely staying ahead of our rations for right now. And so I actually think, I didn't see, did the fog take over this area? If the fog took over this area, we're actually going to have fog repellent lamps that are down here before we can actually build and start having ourselves fishermen and guys that are bringing in extra raw food. That way we don't fall behind on our rations, but for right now, we kind of are where we are. Messer Valfitus, the bird has brought the council's order and letter to you on the Sunburst. All who remain here in Alaran are traitors. And you yourself understand that the seat is more important than another undercover squabble. Will stay. It's a mutiny, Messer. I can't arrest you. I have no authority, but I have to return to Sarago and report everything. Nigel, old friend, I've known you for 10 years, and your loyalty to orders has never been in question, but I understand. Yes, we have been branded traitors, but it is we who will save Sarago. To disobey a direct order from the council is tantamount to death, but I faithfully served you for many years as an Archon. I'll think about what you've said. Okay, in the meantime, I'll think about what to write in response. I didn't think things would take a bad turn so soon. Apparently, they were just waiting for a reason. Written on parchment bearing the seal of the High Council of Sarago, my beloved husband, by the order of Arabalis of Sarago, you are hereby removed from town governance effective immediately. You are also stripped of your title of Archon and all of the associated privileges. You must return to Sarago immediately and face trial, and all residents of the settlement known as Alaran must return to the capital. Should they refuse, they will be declared rebels and executed. Your wife and new Archon of Sarago, Eclara. My own wife is doing me dirty like this? See, this is why you sign a prenup right here. I don't particularly love any of these options. I guess I'll buy some time and write that I'm coming back, but that's going to put me in hotter water once they figure out that it's all a ruse. I could not reply and just hope that they think that I'm dead and that the letter never arrived, but my second-in-command already said that he's planning on going back to the capital and ratting on me like the little snitch that he is, so I don't know, man. I'll just lie. My dear Clara, we were married for 22 years, and I know I have caused you much pain, and I reproach myself for it every day. The time will come when you will understand what was at stake and how difficult these decisions were, but do not confuse politics with revenge. The lords are using you for their political games. I believe that we can still find a solution, and I need to return the light to Sarago, even if it must be torn out by the roots. Val. Okay, well, I mean, I guess we are where we are. They want me to build an engineerium next, but I feel like there's still a lot of tasks that I need to get underway. Like, there's still a lot of things that I need to fix here with our economy to get us up and cruising before things start falling apart. They are curing people inside the healer's hut. You can check on the progress right here, and it looks like our first batch are about to graduate from Grippyfoot College, so it should be okay. Our food supplies are looking somewhat alright, but we will need to reinforce that before too long. So my initial inclination is that we need to get a brazier down here, and so we'll put a flame guard right here. There's only level 2 fog right now, and this thing has level 3 protection, so it should be okay. We'll get that built first. That way we can put a fisherman's hut down here, and then we could put another wood chopper down here, and between those two, we should actually have enough resources flowing to make things work. Like, it should be all right. We've cured half of the people that were mentally ill, and we've already started work on the second batch. There they are, filing on in, so that should give us a new supply of workers. You should see the number of people down here go up once we've got that covered, but it's going to take time before we get there. This right here is going to give us a bunch of refugees, so I'm worried about popping it off right now, just due to the fact that it's going to tax our food supplies really, really heavily at a time that we can't really take that, and so I'm going to put it off for as long as possible and just wait for a buildup of resources before I do anything else. Here come our noble workers. They've arrived, and they're going to put this thing together. We probably only need it to function at night for right now, so I will assign a ranger to man that station right there, and we'll watch how the fog affects it. as time moves forward. But in order to bring in all those refugees and get another batch of workers that can take up different posts, we are going to need to have a fisherman's shed, and there's just no way around it. So we get 1,400 fish from right there. The builders are already down here, so we might as well not waste that time and just have them come back and build this real quick. But that is going to leave us very, very low on wood, and burning this thing right here is going to cost us 1 wood per hour, and we're only producing 8 wood per hour. So we'll want to keep a weather eye out for, like, potentially things going wrong. All right, so that's good to go. How many workers do I have? 12. I have just enough. So we will assign everybody to work in the fisherman's hut. That way we're flush with food going forward on a double shift. The problem that we have is that the cookery spits out rations very quickly, but we don't have enough raw food coming in. The other downside is that we're going to need another warehouse right like here in order to help out with this. And if we have this warehouse right here, we are going to assign this raw food. That way it gets auto-teleported back to our central building. That is, however, going to be all of our workers, so let's get some more. We'll send these guys out to see if they can find any refugees that are out here. We're also assigned that to raw food real quick so that this place's efficiency goes up a little bit, and they'll be producing a lot more raw food for us before things start to get hectic, so that'll help out a little bit. But if the fog level gets any higher, this building is going to start getting converted into just like a hell space. The survivors have built a shelter for themselves in a fortified scrap post, so they speak surprisingly coherently. They confirmed what they had said about Tessen's plan and indicated where to look for other evacuees. So we've got more exploration points. Okay. We've got a few more exploration points, and that did bring in a couple more workers that will now be available for us to assign them to other tasks. So that'll be helpful. Messer Valfitus, wake up! The sunburst is sailing! What? Oh, he's small. Stop him! It's too late, Messer. They're already flying away. Nigel, darkness take you. When you start thinking instead of blindly following orders, give a light signal to surrender, but be prepared to capture the cruiser when... Look, the sunburst, it's burning. It is? Where's the sunburst at? They said it flew away. That was the big orange blimp that was over here. The mighty cruiser collapses in flames. This is how the flying whale Aetherius falls, pierced by harpoons. A terrible disaster. Why did it collapse, and does it threaten us? Did any of the crew survive? We can send rangers to the rescue, but without the sunburst, we don't have extra resources and rations. We need to rebuild the settlement. Okay, well, we'll try to save them, I guess. My friends, you all saw the sunburst wreck. Orders, the Skywalker died, but somebody could survive. Find out for certain as soon as possible. These are our comrades, and we won't abandon them. Our supplies were on board the Sunburst, but the rest should be enough to send a rescue expedition. It's the first thing that we'll do. Okay. We don't have scouts anymore because our scouts were based out of the building that just burned, or I guess the airship that just burned. So we need to get quite a bit more stuff before we can make a scout base, unfortunately. That's a bit of a problem. The good news is our wood supply and our food are already taken care of, so that's not going to be too much of a headache. But if we want to get scouts, we're going to need to get a metal collection post, and it's going to be expensive. So I'll take the metal collection post, and let's just sneak it in right there. Hopefully the fog doesn't rise any higher tonight, but we've got a lot of things that we're kind of saving up our resources for at the moment, and there's no telling whether or not we're going to be successful. Some survivors of the Alaran disaster have begun to recover. They said that Tessen made them fill the warehouses on the upper platform with food and wood. And they don't know anything else? They don't remember. Staying in the fog for a long time causes confusion and amnesia. Personally, I'm surprised they remember even that. Interesting. I did stockpile a whole bunch of stuff up in the top of the tree when I was doing the prologue, and I'm kind of wondering if they're going to give it to me. It'd be nice, but let's get the metal building up and running first. We'll start working on some of the homelessness next. That way maybe we can fix that, because we do have a lot of homeless people right now. But on our current wood supply, building any more of these lanterns is going to be a little bit of an overstretch for what we have available to us right now. We have 14 people ready to work. I'm going to have 6 of them just work during the day gathering metal down here. I can't afford a night shift right now in terms of our workforce, our employees. We just don't have enough, and so we're just gonna have to live with it. We also have something over here They claim that people hid behind the tree. Okay, we don't really need more. We've got 122 people right now. I can't scout them anyways. That's right, we can't scout them because I don't have a scout base. Fair enough. We'll see how wood piles up as we wait for the day to end, and we'll see how metal piles up as well. We did manage to scavenge just enough for a scout base, so I will build a scout base here tonight. I don't know where I want it to go. Maybe I'll have the scout base be out on like one of these little pontoons right here on the top of the platform. It's an important building. It's unique and you only get one of them, so might as well. We've got warriors standing around doing nothing right now, and we're flush with food, so I need to bring some more people in so that we have the workforce to maintain this momentum that we have before the fog starts getting really, really bad. With this, let's form a scout team, and then with the other 50 that we have, I'm going to build an engineerium. I will build the engineerium maybe in a spot where its annexes fit. So like right there, that'll work. So we'll get that all nice and tooled up too, but that's going to keep us tapped out on wood for right now, and we're just going to have to wait for tomorrow if there's anything else that we can accomplish here. Are the scouts ready to prep? They're ready to go. Okay, let's go grab some more workers real fast. They're probably going to be sick because they were out in the fog. That's the unfortunate nature of the circumstance that we're currently in, but we are healing people off pretty rapidly, which is sort of staunching the bleeding of workforce. So the good news here is they started us out with enough workers in this scenario that we can actually get ahead of the sickness curve, and then things will be okay. This building is continuing to function. We found some more people. We found them exhausted. People sit and wail under stretched canopies soaked in fog for a long time. Are they ill as well? They're hungry, but we have food for that. And it doesn't look like they're sick, but I don't know if it counts until they get back. It doesn't look like most of them are sick, and so we should be able to get ahead of the sickness curve here. And that's really good news because I need to get another lumber camp over here so that we have a decent amount of lumber coming in. So I'll build a lumber camp right there with what I have, and then I need another flame guard beacon before this gets too far out of control. I don't think they'll have this built before the day ends. We are going to need to have a warehouse over here, but I'll probably set up another wood gather over on this side. I'm trying to get this up to like 20 wood an hour. That way we have lots and lots and lots of wood so that I can just have unabashed building. Let's get that right there because it clears out a little bit of space. And then my scouts, there's people over here too, and we have plenty of food. So I will send some people over there to see if we can pick up some more workers. I really want to keep this momentum that we have right now. We have 14 workers, so this place is good for a day shift, and it's also good for a night shift. We'll get that going. This is ready to rock, so we will have somebody on the night shift over here just to fight back the fog before it gets too bad, but not on the day shift because during the day we're not really having fog problems right now. People found themselves in a shelter formed by a bend in the root of the tree rising from the ground. They're alive and almost sane, but they'll need a healer. Oh my god, you weren't kidding. Okay, they need a lot of healers. They need healers for days. Okay, I will keep that in mind then, like one thing at a time. We're conquering one problem as it comes up. There is combat in this game, there is fighting, but it doesn't come up very frequently until much later in the game. The prologue had very, very limited fighting inside of it, but you did have to build like guard towers and stuff like that to stop monsters from coming in from the fog and attacking. You can see that in my last video that I recorded on this game. For now, let's focus very heavily on continuing to gather wood, I think. So we'll plop that down right there. And then we'll also get another lump. Do I even have the workers for this? I have 9 workers. I mean, it's something. It's not a lot, but it'll do, I think. We can just have a day shift on this one, I guess. There we go. Plop it on down. Get these scaffolds run on out. I love the way that we live on top of these little, like, I don't know, dude, Louisiana-style, like, walkways that are, like, up above the debauchery of the ground level. We do have metal for days right now. I'm actually going to deassign these guys from metal so that I get my workers back because wood's more important right now. Wood is much, much, much more important because there's so many things that I have to build before we're going to be able to do anything. Send them to the crash site. That way we've got it cleared. It should restore a little bit of hope. These guys over here with the 14 workers that we have. Let's assign a ranger to the night shift over here. And then we will assign people to the day shift and to the night shift over here. And we have enough right now where I can put a warehouse right here that stores specifically wood. That way, these guys don't have a long walk to get back to town. The Rangers lost their way in the fog and found nothing. We gotta send them out again. Valfit has solemnly announced to the people that the Rangers have scouted the surrounding area and returned without losses. No imminent threat, and we're gaining control over the land step by step. The information lifted people's spirits. That's good. I would like to have people's spirits raised if we can manage it. And now, we should have like a solid 20 wood per hour coming in, which means that now I can actually start building the stuff that matters, and we don't have to worry about the slow ticking of all of our little torches over here either. Have that just be for raw wood for right now. That should raise them up to like 7 or 8 wood per hour, which will be really, really helpful. And that should furnish us with enough wood that we can get the engineerium up and running. Did we already do the engineerium? Oh, we already did the engineerium. Hey, I'm ahead of the curve. All right, assign scientists to the engineerium. That way we can start doing research. And it looks like I kept all of my researches from the prologue, so that's really, really good. That's incredibly helpful. I don't have enough wood right now to really upgrade a lot of stuff, but I do think the forest residence would be a really good pick, so I'll have them start researching that. That way I can upgrade these houses to residences, which hold a lot more people because our homeless issue is kind of out of control right now. I should probably, now that I've got all of our supplies secured, I should probably start seeing to that to staunch the flow of people getting sick. With 100 wood gathered, it looks like we've got this objective about knocked out, which I'm very, very thankful for. So that should be helpful if it doesn't actually complete. So with these guys right here, Master dismantling the rubble, we found large reserves of resources on the upper tier, largely provisions. Most importantly, there was a note on the stairs to the upper platform. It means they were trying to sit out the threat. Anything else? Yes, Master, we found a note on the stairs. It's Tesson's handwriting again. Mathon convinced me to escape from a fog storm on the upper platform, and it was a mistake. We're pinned down here. I'm going upstairs. It's necessary to detonate the charges in the cracks of the shell. There's no time for opening, and even less so for ripening. The seed will open and the light will drive the damn creatures away. Could Alarin have been ignited by the flashes? Probably. The seed of the sun's a source of tremendous energy, according to the scraps that we've been collecting around the world for so many years. The main thing is that now the seed is stable and doesn't threaten the settlement. Okay. Daybreak is here, so send the scouts one more time over to there. I don't see a blue mark on top of the tree for gathering resources, so I'm not... Oh, we found 400 wood up there. Hell yeah, dude. Okay, now we building. All right, now we're building. I was going to say, they specifically had me stockpile resources during the prologue, and I have none of those resources right now, which I find to be deeply upsetting. The Rangers found a satchel of parchment and ink snagged on a branch, likely dropped by a fleeing scribe, and there's things inside. Luminarchy interrogation records. How did they get here? The documents state they were attempting by any means to uncover what device lies in the tree's crown, and that they targeted Rangers for arrest. Seems they aimed to cripple Alarin's defenses. Yep, that definitely happened in the prologue too. Go watch the previous video and you'll know all the backstory here. This universe has Inquisition. They think that the fog is caused by devil-worshipping guys that worship the fog and summon it to wipe out society, and they basically torture you by shoving hot pokers up your ass, alright? It's deeply unpleasant. You do not want to get got by the Inquisition in this game. They are merciless and they are nasty. Now with this right here, I can upgrade it to a residence with some metal, of which we have a lot of, and so let's see how much of a bonus we get. Right now, we have 123 people without homes. Many threats surround us. Monsters from the Shroud, spies from Sarago, ancient horrors in the ruins. But despite this, we found kindness in our heart. We went to the rescue of our comrades. We did not leave them in the fog, and our souls remained bright. Our conscience is clear. Messer Archon? Just an ethnarch. We must fully rebuild Alarin. Now it's our home. The sunburst had almost all of our provisions. To avoid starvation, let's restore food production. Okay, well, let's see to it first. I want to see how much housing we get from upgrading these. Looks like we get 12 more slots for the upgrade, which is really, really good for us because that actually cleared out a lot of our homeless, all of whom risk getting sick every time they spend a night out in the fog. I will build a watchtower over here to protect this area. So I'll put a watchtower maybe like right here. And then I'll probably build another one over here because it'll shoot at threats that come through. And we need to have kind of like walls to protect us, basically, from everything that's outside. From there, we need another flame guard over here. We'll plop that right there. And then we'll use the equitable space. Can I just build a level 2 automatically? I cannot. I have to upgrade it after the fact. All right. Well, we'll put a house right there. We'll put a house right here. And if I can squozen one in, we'll put one right there. That should give us a little bit more building space. One of the toilers noticed a strip of trampled grass at the roots of the tree. According to him, it's as if a crowd of madmen was running. We looked around. He described it funny, but it's a genuine clue. In this case, followed the trail. It might lead us to something important, but not to the detriment of urgent matters, of course. Where is that at? Over there? All right, we'll worry about that a little bit later. Inside the engineering, we also have resources for upgrading things, so I think we should do that. Let's get the Great Engineerium real fast, because that gives us level 2 researches, I think. And every one of these houses needs to be upgraded to a residence, because that's another 36 people that we're sheltering, and we're stuck at like 90 people right now that don't have homes, and so we've really got to get on top of that. This right here needs to be assigned a flame guard at night for now. I don't know if we'll need one during the day. Our towers are up and running. Each one will take 8 guards. I'll put 2 guards in on the night shift and 2 guards in on the day shift on each of these. That way we're defended, at least on the eastern side of the base, for when eventually zombie dogs and monsters and stuff like that start flowing through. I don't know what the fog's gonna look like tonight and how long it's gonna stay at level 2. There's no way for me to know that information because we need to build a Aether Watch. This will give us a forecast for what the fog's gonna do. It fills in this little area with like a meter that tells you how bad the fog's gonna be night over night. And so now that that's built, it looks like we've got fog level 2 for a couple more days. That's not bad. We can live with that. A couple more days of actually getting people housed, protected, and taken care of is fine by me. Like, I think we can make that work. Our research on the Great Engineerium will be done in just a second. Let me see if we actually have what it takes to make that right now. We do. We do have the resources to go up to a higher level of technology, so I think that's a good idea. Let's just bang that out first and make our university a little bit larger while we have like this ridiculous overflow of resources. A night on the shore, we saw a girl and she sang. In the dark, another madwoman let the fog take her. Something else, 2 fishermen went missing. I'll send the 4th guard. Yeah, that's not good. The reason why we need this higher level place right here is because inside of here, we need to get access to the large flame guard. The large flame guard is going to be the thing that we need. But we need to find this resource right here, gas, first. So we're going to need to have gas harvesting before that's going to be super helpful to us. The gas harvesting is under resources. It's a vapor station over here. We are going to need that. So I think we just mash it out now while we wait. Just make sure that our research is humming. In the meantime, I think I would also get a little bit busy building more forest houses out here. I'll probably just put one right there, and I'll just sprinkle them around inside the radius over here because we will be getting more refugees. One thing I can tell you is that this game, one of the principal ways that it stresses you out is by giving you just loads and loads and loads of refugees that you need to provide for. And so you need to constantly be expanding your economy and constantly expanding all your storage and everything else. Otherwise, it's not going to go so great for you. Let's start investigating some of these areas. So let's see if we can find some supply caches and stuff, just to see if we can get like an influx of goodies to help out. I don't know if that's the follow the tracks one, but Master Valfitis, you look tired. Did something happen? You know me, Vezin. I'm modest in everyday life, but apparently age makes itself felt. It's difficult for me to sleep in the same place where the work of the council is carried out during the day. I understand. We did not have the opportunity to take care of your comfort, and we're limited in resources and space. We'll come up with something. I hope you do, because I need to ball out in a mansion right now. I'm trying to live with, I'm trying to get my mink on. I'm trying to have like a fat gold chain of command. I'm trying to be an important person out here. Exploration finished. A strange sign. A board cutting station with a few sagging sheds and a stack of boards. Okay, 100 planks, man. We don't have any planks right now, so 100 planks will help out. Definitely not against it. As soon as the Rangers get back, we'll clear out some of these extra exploration spots. We'll give that some thought. And we're sitting on 24 homeless right now. Let's future-proof a little bit. So it's 30 wood. Oh, it's 30 boards for each of these. Okay. I thought it was 30 wood. They've got it actually mixed up. If you look, when you mouse over it, it has the icon for logs, but then it takes planks. The icons are different. Gonna have to clean that up before a commercial release for sure. It's misleading to the player and could cause them to waste things that could ultimately, in a game like this, torpedo your entire campaign. We ran out of trees inside this lumberjack hut, which is not ideal. Let's tear it down and get our workers back, and also our wood. I think I can more than likely replace it over here inside this area. So that's what I'm gonna do. But unfortunately, that means I gotta light off another beacon down here too, which sucks. It's a constant drain on material that, like, I'd rather not deal with, but that's life. Scared money don't make no money. Sometimes you gotta put something on the table in order to get that big ante up. Now that we only have 12 homelessness left, that should be good. Are these guys ready to explore? They ready to rock out? Okay, let's go check the grass over there with the trail for the storyline mission. We got our resources back over here, and honestly, we got more equitable building space too, which is nice. I don't know if that tower is going to be covered. It says light level 3, so we should be good. Like, it looks like it's covered. We got 50 rations inside of here. Okay, we don't really need rations right now, but I can live with rations. I haven't used any of this upper deck yet, but I'm kind of waiting on wood to trickle on in too, because it'll make life easier. We've got like one more day of relaxation before this gets bad, so I really want to clear out all these far-flung spots before anything else happens. So we're looking for fertile ground for farms. That would be a good idea, although food isn't even really a concern right now. Like, food seems to be going okay. What researches can I afford? So we've got a chop shop. Upgrades lumberjack huts into more effective chop shops. Go ahead and do it, man. Go ahead and do it. Hopefully we'll recover the wood once we get that finished off. Looks like it's going to take most of the day for that research to be done, though, so that's life. And this location, what you got for me? The Rangers shifted from foot to foot, openly bored, while the squat craftsman examined the ground, sifted it through his fingers, and poked it with a probe. He finally straightens up and shakes his head. They seem pleased. Okay, so we're still searching for, like, sacred ground that we can actually grow stuff on. I'm guessing that this is gas over here, would be my estimate. I don't know if I can build over there yet. I can, actually. Gas harvesting might be a good idea earlier rather than later, but let's let wood trickle in for a little bit. I also didn't assign workers over here, so like let's max them out on night shift and day shift. And then over here, we need this to be lit at night too, to hold back the fog. Otherwise, we're gonna get ourselves into a little bit of trouble. We got 30 minutes till they're back. I'm not really doing anything right now because I'm waiting on wood production, so like, just send them over there. If they get sick, they get sick. It's fine. It's in the fog right now, but, like, what else are you gonna do? I love those red flashes in the fog, dude. They make it seem so threatening. Like, they make it seem like a thing that is actively here to kill you. Our wood supply is low. We can't erect buildings. Okay, I'll take that quest. That'll just give us a free quest to collect 200 wood, and if we collect 200 wood in like 3 days, we get free hope. So it's an easy win for us right now because our wood production is absolutely through the roof right now. Like, we've got really, really good building. Oh, more lifeless bodies found. The people are dressed in tattered, worn-out rags. Their wounds and burns are the same as those that we found on the tree. Not the crew of the Sunburst. Guzzles are already eyeing the body. The Rangers scared them off, but there's probably a nest nearby. Oh, where's the Guzzle nest at? So there'll be nests every now and again, and we gotta hunt them down, otherwise we get invaded by monsters periodically. It's gonna be a bit of a handful, but it's something that we've gotta, like, pay attention to and get on top of. This is selectable right here, and the storyline mentioned I could gather from it, but I can't see anything that I can actually gather from there right now. I don't know. Did the chop house get done? Yeah, let's upgrade the chop houses, man. I am ready for that. So this guy still has 730 left. How expensive is a chop shop? We got to give it a go, man. Let's see how efficient it is by comparison to our other buildings. This guy right here, probably upgrade too. It looks like we've got survivors over here, and we've got more than enough food to take them, so I'm going to send the rangers over there to go pick them up. But tomorrow the fog level is going to hit level 3, which is the absolute cap of what our torches can protect us from. On top of that, strong chance that the fog's going to start showing up during the day once we get there, and that is also bad. It looks like it actually doubles the efficiency of the building. Very nice. Okay, so we should be like swimming in wood pretty soon. Giggity a giggity. We found residents of Alarin. Okay. They really were survivors of Alarin. Somehow they survived more than 2 weeks in the darkness of the shroud. The firelight dances across their twisted faces. One of them absent-mindedly picks at a ragged wound on his cheek. A second one cradles his own torn-off hand against his chest. A third curled up quietly sobbing. One of the craftsmen seems to retain what's left of his sanity. Scholar ran upstairs and turned on the devices. From the canopy, flashes and heat waves. Everybody went blind and everything burned. Gave us more workers, and that's what we need, so I'll take it. I need to be very, very proactive today about clearing out all of these spots, like I sincerely do. As soon as we get our wood supply nice and stocked up too, I'll feel a little bit better. We probably don't need this warehouse over here anymore either. Yeah, I mean, tear it down. I mean, if we don't need it, let's save space, because we've already got one over here. It looks like we can upgrade it to an actual storage later on, but I'm not too concerned about that for right now. Just like leave it alone. Let's go look for fertile soil over there, and we'll keep pushing out in these directions too. I mean, it's one thing at a time. We've got 15 mentally ill people that all need to be taken care of for right now. We are sitting on decent wood supplies, so I am going to build a couple more forest houses down here, just in case I need them. Which I think we will. This soil right here was suitable for what we're trying to do with farming, which is good. And so everything is coming up Splattercat right now. It's working out. Give me another... Well, I can't really build in there, can I? Okay, well, I was going to say, give me another tower, but I suppose we'll put one right there and use it to squeeze in stuff when and where we can. Upgraded buildings are getting it done right now, though, dude. They're going hard on that wood. It's working out. Give me a night shift on here with one of my rangers. How many rangers do I have left? 22? All right, good. I was trying to make sure I got enough rangers and then I'm not going through my entire supply just yet. Send them out to investigate the strange voice. We also need to build an annex, a headquarters. I don't have it researched yet, though. So let's jump into the tech tree. And where was that at? Was it in the social tree? Yeah, let's get a headquarter. We used up some of a resource we don't have very much of, and it ate up most of our wood, but it'll just have to do for now. The Rangers move through the thick fog, their lanterns barely piercing the darkness. They follow the enchanting song of a girl, her voice luring them even further. At last, they catch sight of her silhouette. As they get closer, the figure grows rapidly until it's towering over them. The next moment, monstrous claws burst from both sides, and the girl's body splits open into the gaping maw of a beast. It's a trap. My Archon, urgent news. We sent a detachment and only one returned, and he died of his wounds. He raved about a terrible monster. I've never heard of such a thing. We need to strengthen the protection of the settlement. Fortunately, I managed to grab some watchtower blueprints before I left. Can we build such a tower? Yes, but during firing, the turret experiences overloads at an angle at the axis of rotation. The wooden structure won't take the forces. It's necessary to strengthen it with iron elements. When we flew in here, I saw a glint in the grass, metal. Next to the tree, all the reserves have almost been exhausted. It won't be enough. Well, once the tower's built, the Rangers will place a bait for the monster next to it. Just don't put a tower on the platform. We can't lure the monsters here. Oh, good sweet lord. We got all kinds of problems. Okay, we can investigate for metal over on this side. We also got another event that said people are having visions and going crazy, but it's not translated, so I'm pretty sure they want me to build the next flame guard, though. Luckily, that's the one part that's translated, is that I need level 3 flame guards. Residents are under attack. Where? Over here? By what? Oh, God! A giant critter. Are the towers working? It says that it's working. Do we have guys coming down here to fight with her? Yeah, there's a guy with arrows right there. I see blood splatters. They weren't kidding. That is a pretty terrible monster. In 3 minutes, I can send a squad after it. Yeah, send the squad over here to kill it. How much HP does it have? Here come the reinforcements. Hopefully enough to drop this thing. We got rangers everywhere. The towers are shooting it. Some people are trying to fight it in like hand-to-hand combat, which feels like a terrible idea to me, considering it's like 30 feet tall. That just feels like a bad idea. Did we kill it? Is it dead? I think we killed it. We're probably going to want to double the watch, though. I had to call in, like, extra reinforcements to kill that thing off. But this game is called Darkswitch. I like it a lot. I am very, very amped about this game, dude. Like, I'm excited for this one to come out. There's so few games that have tried to do the Frostpunk thing at the requisite level that they need to be at in order to give a satisfying gameplay experience. And so this game's actually feeling pretty good. The animations need work, and, like, the translation needs work. There's grammatical errors every now and again. There's also tooltips that are wrong for the resources being used. But since the game's not out yet, and this is just a press demo, like, they've got time to smooth that stuff out and make it happen. My name is Splattercat. I sift through the pile to find what's worthwhile in the world of indie games every single day so that you don't have to. Today up on the chopping block, it was Darkswitch. Tomorrow it'll be something else. Thanks for spending your time with me. That's about all I got for you, folks. Bye.